Hello, everybody. It's Greg Harrelson here with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, with, of course, my co-host and partner, Abe Safa, also with Century 21, the Harrelson Group. And we're going to talk about the latest, activity in the Myrtle Beach real estate market. And when we say Myrtle Beach, we're talking about the entire Grand Strand, Horry County, Conway, Aner, Longs, Loris, North Myrtle Beach, Litchfield, Pawleys Island, you name it, kind of Horry and Georgetown County, which is our entire MLS coverage. So we want to talk with you about what's going on in the market this week. Abe, thank you for joining me, and let's go ahead and dive right into some numbers.
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. Yeah, so I mean, today is June 6th, so we got the final numbers from the MLS for the month of May. So I definitely want to
Yeah.
talk about those numbers today.
Yeah, I'm
Pretty
hearing a
pretty
little bit of
interesting. I
scoop
mean,
about inventory going up a little bit, and I see that you put condo inventory going up. So I'd be interested to see what the data says.
yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what we're looking at here. First, I want to start with single family homes. So number of closed sales for the month was down 21%. Right, relative to last year. So year over year compared to May of last year, down 21%. Number of closed sales. This is single family homes. This is previously owned. We're not talking new construction, right? So that's a significant number, right? Because Greg, the
Yes.
last 5 6 months, it's been in a 40% drop. So now it's starting, it's been stabilizing the last couple of months. So it was only down 21% last month. Now the inventory, the interesting part is this is homes for sale, single family homes. You'll see inventory has been dropping, right? So February we started off at 1194. It went up a little bit in March as we started seeing a little bit of increase in inventory for spring, and then it went down in April, went down again in May. So inventory has been going down for the last 2 months in a row now. And when you look at the month supply of inventory for single family homes, that as well has been going down. It's down to 2.6. So yes, it's significantly higher than it was last year. Okay, but it's still 2.6 is a very, very low number for the month supply. And it just shows that the market's starting to stabilize when it comes to single family homes.
Got it. And when you say stabilize, what do you mean by stabilize?
Like we're not seeing, so like the concern was like if you look at here, right, when we went from
Yeah.
the peak of the market, the inventory bottomed out here. Like this was when we had nothing left on the market.
Yeah.
There was a 1 month supply of inventory, and then things really started increasing in inventory, and it kind of stopped right there, went down a little bit. It looked like it was going to go back up again, and then it's just kind of stabilized. Like so if you look from here from May to November of last year, it's right about the same. It's actually the
Yeah.
same exact
Kind of
number.
flat. It's not
Yeah,
going
so
up,
from
not going
November,
down.
so it's stabilizing, which is good. It's good for
Mhm.
both buyers and sellers. It's not as crazy. The interest rates as well have kind of been around that same thing. It kind of peaked a little bit last week. It went over 7%. The 30-year mortgage. Now it just dipped back down to right below, I think 6.89 as of yesterday. So
Mhm.
more stability than what we've been seeing the last couple of years.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Well, with the COVID year and then year after, it's like to me, I erase those years out of memory because that kind of reminds me of like 2009 and 10 when the market was crashing. I don't really look at that as a good idea as a good indication of where the market is. That was a blip in time, just back in 2005 and 6 when the market was burning hot. I didn't really judge that as being a realistic market. The COVID year wasn't necessarily, and the year after wasn't necessarily realistic. It was kind of extremes. Now what we're seeing is less extremes and a little bit more stable. You're calling it stabilization. I may call it kind of like flattening out, and
Right.
we'll see what happens. But that's what the details are. So, what is this screen here?
Now this is for condos. So this is condos sold for the month of May. 513 condos sold. So that was down 19.3% relative to last year.
Yeah.
Okay, but again, it looks unchanged from the month of April.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a little bit of spike. I don't know if you remember back in March. We're like, man, the condo market's really picking up. That was back in March, right? And then all of a sudden, it kind of dipped a little bit these last 2 months or so. So a little bit less sales. When you look at condos for sale, that inventory is growing. So from 1,099 in March to 1,132 in April, and then 1,248 in May. That's up 37%, 36.8%. So quite a difference between homes and condo inventory. So condo inventory is going up at a higher
Mhm.
level than home inventory right now.
Yeah,
Um,
and I would say that, do you believe that's, seasonality, or do you think that that is more of, just, some of these owners are taking advantage that, "Hey, prices are still good. We don't know what the future is gonna be, so let's go ahead and cash out of this condo with a nice profit and call it a day," versus gambling and seeing what's gonna happen with elections and, all the other things, interest rates, etcetera, or a recession or whatever they're talking about. I don't watch the news that much. I'm not sure
right.
exactly what they're what the negative news is right now, but yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I think a little bit of it is seasonality, but I
Yeah,
think more so there's been a lot of things happening in the condo market the last couple of months.
yeah,
Insurance assessments have been kind of crippling a lot of owners. So I'm
yes,
definitely seeing more owners wanting to sell just to be able to get away from the rising HOA dues, the rising insurance costs, and things like that. So I do see more properties hitting the market for those reasons, rather than look, it's just time for us to sell. We're just not using it as much anymore. So I
yeah,
think that's part of it. Then also the other movement with some of the resorts right now want to do these major upgrades,
mhm,
and they're asking for 30, 40, $50,000 for upgrade packages. A lot of these owners are just like, I've had enough. Let me get ahead and cash out while the condo market is as prices is still good. So I do think it's more so of what's actually happening in the market conditions right now than just seasonality.
yeah, yeah, I do
Yeah.
too, and I'm feeling that in my conversations with some of these
Yeah.
owners that are thinking about selling. I
Mhm.
feel like, they're saying to me, "Hey, look, I bought this thing at 200. I can sell it at 370. I think I'll just go ahead and pull out my earnings, my equity, and just put it somewhere maybe that's less volatile, so I don't have to worry about what's going on with the economy or what's going to happen with the rental season, et cetera." For some reason, I'm having more of those conversations. People are just wanted to like get their cash out and sit on the sidelines and just not have much exposure. So the
Yeah, no
ones that I'm
question.
dealing with, that seems to be why they're selling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely having more and more of those conversations. Okay, so I'm going to show. So in this video, I've shown two different inventory numbers, and there's a reason for that. Like
Yes.
right now, this is the number of condos on the market for sale, right? So it says homes for sale, but it's really condos, and it's 2.6, right? And it doesn't look like it's gone up that much. It's gone up a little bit, but when we look at the month supply, which is also another uh, number for inventory, look at how much higher that is, right? 2.7 relative to the past. That hasn't been that high since what? February of 2021.
Hmm.
Now, so those, if you look at those two different graphs, it tells two different stories, right? Let me go back to the inventory here. This doesn't look that bad, like we were at that point not too long ago, right? It seems kind of
So,
flat.
so that and that more of a short term view, it looks like we're flattening out last couple of months, and then the other one seems to be a longer term view.
Now, so here's the difference between the two, right? This is just strictly how many condos on the market for sale,
Yes.
right? The homes for sale. When you look at month supply, it looks at what's on the market, but also looks like at the pace that we're selling them.
Yes.
So because we're seeing less condo sales now than we were seeing these last couple of years, okay, it's a much higher number. It looks like it's a more drastic number because it's taking into account how many we're selling at the pace that we're selling them. So it will take us 2.7 months to sell the condos that we have on the market right now. And again, that hasn't been that high since January of 2021 because all three here, they were selling faster than they can actually hit the market. That's
Yes.
why it dipped that low, not because there were actually that many less condos on the market. They were just selling so much quicker.
Yeah. So then in a
If that
snapshot of
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, I think so. And so I just want to make sure that we talk it through so it makes sense for everybody else too. My interpretation of this, in which it's making a lot of sense to me, is one of the reasons that we suspect that inventory number of listings is increasing is not only because there are a few more people listing, but there's also the buyer demand is slowing down a little bit. And so they're just not selling like before. Two came on and two would sell.
Right.
Well, now two comes on and one sells. And so you can have a growing inventory even if the same number of sellers are entering the market. You can actually have your inventory can be flat because there's an equal amount of sales. So if the inventory is going up, but there's not necessarily a ton more listings coming on the market, it's going up because there's less than that amount of buyers. And that's what it's kind of a combination of two right now. A few more sellers are entering the market and a few less buyers are entering the market. And that's why we're starting to see an accumulation of inventory.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
We've really got to pay attention to this, because at some point, listen, next month it could change again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's think of it from this way: if in the event that this continued to happen for say 2 more months in a row, then I bet you what we'll find, if we haven't already seen it already, but I bet you what we'd find is you could then show us a chart of how many price reductions are being done. And we'd start to see that this standing inventory, that agents and sellers are having conversations about reducing their prices in order to be the next one that sells. So that's another reason why some people will look at this and say this could be a good time to get out of the market. But I'm not a day trader. I'm not trying to predict what's going to happen in the future because we just don't know. But I do know that this is some of the reasons why people are saying, hey, maybe I should just cash out now at what they believe is the top of the market. And then whatever happens, they'll deal with it in the future.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's why we pay close attention to both numbers. So it's important to look at the month supply as well as the whole total level of inventory, because that gives us a gauge of, okay, are the buyers in the market still? How fast is stuff moving relative to what's on the market?
Well, good.
So I mean, kind of both stabilizing a little bit, but condos seem to be hurting a little bit more than what homes are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Homes are a little bit stronger.
Yeah. So if you have a condo in any building, in the market, please give us a call. If you'd like to get an idea of where the pricing is right now, what selling would mean for you, you can reach us. There's our contact information below. We'd love to help you. Even if you're not thinking about selling immediately, again, we're looking to establish, a relationship with you. We want to be your resource of information and be available anytime. Whether or not you're thinking about doing a transaction now is irrelevant to us. We just hope that you'll consider us someday in the future. Well, Abe, that's real good. I think we got something that we're going to have to continue to keep our eyes on. I know as real estate professionals, this is the type of information that we're sharing with our sellers. And so whatever decisions that they're making, buying, selling, holding, whatever it is, we just want to make sure they're informed decisions. So if you need any information, reach out to Abe or I. Either one of us will be happy to help you. Abe, thank you so much. And we'll connect again next week.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you all for watching.
Bye-bye.